Here we go. Whee! Full beams. Oh, listen to that thing. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dietrich, and today I am very happy to be test driving a 2006 Lexus GX 470, baby. 4.7 liter V8, four-wheel drive, 5-speed automatic transmission, air suspension, 268,540 miles is what the odometer currently shows. This car still rides smooth. The engine still sounds just as classy as it could be. It's virtually silent at idle. It idles like a Tesla, but when you put your foot into it, oh, you just get the nicest little roar. The bird's eye maple wood looks fantastic. The leather seats still feel comfortable. I love these cars. I have such great memories I never owned a GX 470, but way back in the day, this was like 15, 16 years ago. I used one to ferry a bunch of my coworkers back and forth to do a stupid, boring, odd job because it was a bunch of us, at the time, young dudes jacking around together in a big Lexus and me driving it too quickly up, actually on this exact same freeway, now that I think about it, just a little bit further down. We just had a great time. And this car is still a great time. It's amazing to me how well it drives and runs with how many miles are on it. And the crazy thing about this car, it's a two-owner car. I've seen the Carfax on it. No accidents, a clean Carfax, you know, no frame damage, accidents, airbag deployment, none of that stuff. There's like no service whatsoever listed on the Carfax at all. There's the only service history records show like smog pass, you know, past emissions, past emissions, past emissions, past emissions. It's like a Tori Amos song, just all through the Carfax report. But you can see under the hood, like there's a little sticker from where probably some independent mechanic did the timing belt at some point. That's been done. And obviously the car's been maintained. It wouldn't drive and run this well if it hadn't been maintained, but it was done by an independent mechanic. But this is one of those cars that has an amazing reputation for reliability, and it actually deserves it. And that's why even with 268,543 miles on it, this thing still has some value. Somebody's probably going to pay. This car is going to go to a dealer auction, and somebody's probably going to pay $4 grand, $5 grand, $6 grand for it at the auction, depending on what the mood is that day amongst the wholesalers and the internet, because most of those auctions are also online. And there's not a lot of cars with 268,000 miles that command that kind of money, but this one's probably worth it. And it's also unmolested. It has not been converted into off-roading, chopped up, jacked around. This is a virgin GX 470. I'm sure that is the fate that it's destined for. This thing is going to have some kind of method wheels and all-terrain tires and cut the fender linings out and put a different suspension, and they'll ruin it. This thing would be rad off-road though. Got the low four-wheel drive, locking center differential, hill descent control. The air suspension does need a little bit of attention. It rides smooth, but when you try to adjust the height, I don't know, it's something wrong with it. And the tire pressure monitoring light is on, and I checked all the tires. One of them did have slightly low pressure. I put air in it and that didn't fix it. I pushed the little button down below with the two different tire pressure monitor profiles that this car has. That didn't fix it. So there's something wrong with the tire pressure monitoring, and the moonroof doesn't work. And other than that, it's good to go. Mark Levinson sound system still sounds fantastic. CD changer still works. Cassette player still works. The Bluetooth for the cell phone still works. I made a phone call on it earlier to order a pizza. The navigation works. Power windows all work. All the lights seem to work. Engine, yes sir, still works and is still burning gas, and it is foggy today. This is so cool. This is such a cool car. This is like the Japanese Range Rover, kinda. I mean, maybe the LX is more the Japanese Range Rover, but I don't know. The air suspension, the V8, the off-road ability, the wood trim, the floatiness and the bounciness and the comfort. It's close enough. It's also way more reliable than a Range Rover and doesn't look as good, but it still looks pretty good and it's still a lot of fun. And I'm sure that some of you watching this will have some kind of amazing nostalgic memories from being a kid riding around in one of these, or man, if your mom had one of these things or your dad had one of these things and you were like 16, 17 in high school and they let you borrow it for the night, go take out your friends. Woohoo! You were having a good time. I'll bet that. I tried to ghost ride the whip in a GX 470, and if you don't know what ghost riding the whip is, first of all, definitely go try it. Second of all, what it is you put the car in drive, you bring the, an open parking lot, hopefully, bring the car to a stop, put it in drive, and get out and let it roll, and kind of just walk and dance alongside the car. I do not recommend ghost riding the whip with the GX 470 because this thing idles at about 12 to 15 miles an hour, and I was ghost running the whip trying to catch up with this thing, and luckily I caught it, or else it would have gone all the way across the parking lot of the Orange County Fairgrounds by itself. But that was a very long time ago, and the statute of limitations has run out if that was indeed a crime. Actually, I don't think it was, because that happened on private property. But that's just one of the many great memories that I have riding in and driving a GX 470. They don't make them like this anymore, boy. They still make the GX, but now it's like a 4-cylinder hybrid or a twin-turbo V6, depending on which one you get. This Mark Levinson audio system in this car has 240 watts, and this was an option in 2006. The new GX, you can get the Mark Levinson reference audio system as an option. That has 2,400 watts. It's literally 10 times the wattage that this stereo has. I have not listened to one, but I guarantee you it's not 10 times better. This is actually still an amazing stereo. Phil Collins' hit CD sounds fantastic in here. Oh my God. It's a Honda Element on a lifted suspension. I would not want to drive that ever. We're just gonna go ahead and use the V8 and just saunter right past. No trouble whatsoever. Not a particularly fast car, but it has adequate power and it sounds nice doing what it needs to do. The 2006 model, 263 horsepower and 323 torque, which was down 7 from the 2005 model year, but actually the output didn't change. It was just that the Society of Automotive Engineers changed the way that they calculate net horsepower. So that's why the 06s had less power than the 05s. Technically, it's the same amount of power, it's just a different calculation. This car's so cool. It's more exciting for me to drive this than like a new Corvette. And I've driven a new Corvette and it was cool, it was fast. But like, they don't make these anymore, and they're not gonna make them like this again. You know, you can still buy a GX and you can still get it, you know, with air suspension and stuff, but I don't know if it's gonna go 268,000 miles twin turbo V6 or hybrid system. Back in my day, I built these things to last. Oh. The handling is hilarious on this thing too. Whee! Brakes feel good. Doesn't need rotors. I like that. I mean, it'll go through the turn, but you feel like you're riding the rodeo show. It takes a set, but it leans and you're kind of bucking the Bronco. I don't know. That's pretty much all I have to say. This car's great. I did do a full review. You can watch that. I'll put a link to that in the description and in the comments. And I also did a point of view test drive on a 2007 Lexus GX 350. So if you want to watch me drive another old silver Lexus with a crap load of miles on it, I'll put a link to that as well. With all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Please like my video and subscribe to my channel. And please have a fantastic day. Bye-bye. Duty Plumbing Services. So get the duty out.